Hi, stat students. I just wanted to take a moment to kind of make some connections for us and explain one of the tools that we're using for this week. So we're in chapters 7 and 8. With chapter 7, I wanted to go ahead and connect. When we talk about probability, we can connect it back to our z-scores. So if you remember the empirical rule, the 68% is within one standard deviation, -1 to 1 around the mean. We can interpret that as 68% of the population fit within that area. We can also interpret that as probability. So there's a 68% chance someone would fall into that category. Okay, so we can think about those things in terms of just normal percentages. We can also think about them in terms of probability. When we're going through and trying to identify that area, either explaining it as the percentage or in a population or the chance of falling into that area, we can talk about things in terms of the body and the tail. So the body typically refers to when it's encompassing the area passing the mean, and the tail is typically that smaller version. All right. Most stats classes are going to go through and teach students about making these connections with percentages, which are also proportions. It depends on if it's in decimal form or not, and then probability. I'm using this unit normal table. This unit normal table is also called the z-distribution. It could be called the z-table. It could be called the standard unit normal table. And so within one of these worksheets, and this is something you can download, you'll see that there's these different areas, the body, the tail, and then they also have, which they then associate with the different areas, they also have a column D, which is the mean score, 0 to whatever z-score you're looking at. You'll notice that this distribution, since it is symmetrical, if you were to scroll through all of these pages that have z-scores from 0 all the way to 4, you'll see that they're all positive, and that is because it is symmetrical. So you could have also had this area of D also being in this area right here. And so let's just take a simple one. A z-score of 0 we know is the mean. You would see 50% or 0.5 in the tail and 0.5 in the body. And then the proportion between the mean and the z-score 0 is none, because that is the z-score. All right, so again, this gives you within 2 decimal places all of these different areas. All right, you should also notice that if you add up the body and the tail, you are going to get 100%. So now I'm going to go ahead and transition you into our z-table. So our z-table is from zscorecalculator.com. Right, and this one we're only going to be using a couple of the buttons. So right now I had it set up as left, which I'm interested in finding, and I'm using the left z-score. I'm interested in finding the area on the left of this value I put in. All right. So obviously a z-score of 0 is going to give us 50%. All right. I can also look at scores when I'm interested in looking at the right side. The right side, and again, it would prompt me to put this value I want in this box. So when I click on the right, of course, it's automatically at that 0, and so it's still that 50% that we just saw in that table. Let's go ahead and make it a 1. All right, so this time it is showing me the shaded area. So for this shaded area, it's telling me that the percentage is 15.87. All right, and so that is, we had that loose estimate as the 34.14.2, right? And so this is giving us the exact percentile value. If I were to say, what is the probability of someone having a z-score above 1? The probability is 15.87%. If I was asking, in this, I had data from a population, what is the percentage of individuals who got a z-score above 1, it would be 15.87%. If I'm wanting to know the area to the left of that, again, it's just going to reset. It's going to prompt me to go here. I'm going to go ahead and put 1. Again, we're going to see that's 84%, 84.13%. What's the probability of getting a z-score below 1? 84.13%. And you know this is 50%, and then this was our estimate of 34%. Now we're finding the exact percentage. All right. The other thing that I wanted to show you was the left, right, different areas. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Sorry. It's going to go ahead and give me this value. I was waiting for it to get me to that 100% because I know we just had revisited the 15%. This is the 84% or 16% if you round up. So we've got, there we go. And we want those middle area. All right, so that middle area we know is that 34.13%. Now I'm going to do both areas. All right, and this goes into, again, detailed estimates. All right, so again, if I had 2 different z-scores I had to do, I do the lower value in the left and the higher value on the right. And then I would check to see, does my shaded area, is that equivalent? All right, so just like that column D, if I was ever going to repeat a column D, I'd always have, well, depending, let's say I was doing my z-score of 0 and 1, I'd have that lower value. If I was going to go to a z-score between -1 and 0, I would put the lower value in the left. I hope this is helpful and look forward to talking about it more in class. Thanks.